Hey everybody, it's old Lou here, and we're coming at you right now in the middle of this big quarantining that's happening. Now, this is crazy what's happening in our country. It's happened before and it'll probably happen again, so don't freak out too much, don't panic too much and hoard everything. Let's just try to make the most of a bad situation, right? So here's the deal. What we want to do is, for a lot of y'all, your whole lives, the schedules have been crazy. You know, you don't have school, you don't have sports. A lot of us aren't even going to a church to be there. So we got to figure out, what are we going to do with all this time with the people we're surrounded by? So we want to give you some advice on what we call creative quarantining. First off, you'll notice that there's some people in the house that you live with that you might not be too familiar with. That lady that usually just waves at you in the morning when you're leaving, that's your mom. You might want to introduce yourself to her. Get to know her. Or suppose you're some dude and you've got this pretty lady sitting on the couch next to you. She might be your wife. All right? So we've got a cool opportunity. Introduce yourself to your family and let's do some stuff together. Like, you can't go out to restaurants anymore. So every night you've got an opportunity to do this thing called a family dinner. Yeah. That's where you sit around the same table with your family and you eat the same meal together, and you can do something that people used to call have conversations. This is where, like, you'll say what you're thinking and what you're thinking through, what you're talking about. You'll say that out loud, and people will listen to that, and they'll comment on that, and we'll have people interchanging ideas with each other and growing in relationship with each other around a shared meal. Awesome. What a great idea. Oh, and normally after that, you just sit around and maybe watch sports on the television. But you know what? Sports ain't happening on the TV. Now, here's what's crazy. Is like, here, y'all see this? This right here is used by professionals to make millions of dollars. But it can be used by amateurs as well. What you can do is you can take this ball and this glove. You'll need somebody else with another glove. One ball's fine, but you need at least two gloves. And you can play a game called catch. Isn't that awesome? What you do is you get like your kid or your brother or something, and you go somewhere at least 6 feet because of social distancing, and you practice throwing this ball to each other, and you catch it and just hang out, and it's awesome. Or something else you can do with your time is a little something I like to call books. Maybe you haven't seen one of these in a long time. There's two different kinds. One of them is about real stuff. We call this nonfiction. Some of it's like pretend. We call that fiction. It's kind of like reading a movie in your head. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. So don't just say, man, we're stuck in our house. We're going to watch Stranger Things 3,000 or 4,000 times. Don't do that. Forget about Netflix and all that. Read a book. Or, you know what you can do? You can get yourself one of these. This here's a Bible. Now, this is awesome. It's so good for you to read, or it's something that you can read with your family, and you can all be learning what God's telling you at one time. I mean, it's awesome. So, hey, with all this stuff, everything changing, you need to slow down, maybe simplify a little bit. Don't stop, but slow down. And maybe you can use this time to get like a new normal, and you can get rid of things that shouldn't be in your life anyway and add things that you wish you'd been doing all the time. So is this a good thing? No, of course this is bad. This stinks. But why don't you make the best of a bad situation? Or else.